really happy that you're all here to join us tonight for this inaugural United by Song event. The United Way of PEI and Music PEI have partnered to deliver this special evening of songs and stories. Tonight, we're creating a stage where our local community and culture are coming together to shine a light on authentic and inspiring stories. We're also here to thank all the supporters of the United Way and to connect you to the very personal and profound impact of that support. PEI is known as a place where we all look after one another, but the reality is often more complicated. The United Way of PEI works closely with local partners and invests in local programs so islanders can connect to services in their own communities when and where they need them, and to ensure that no one is left behind. Tonight, you're going to hear from 4 individuals who have benefited from these partnerships and this support. They're very personal stories, and we sincerely thank them for sharing. Each of these brave and inspiring islanders were paired with one of the talented local songwriters joining us this evening. And so over the past month, they've met, shared stories, and learned from one another. So tonight, you're going to witness the result of this partnership, of this connection, and the songs that they've inspired. It's a really beautiful thing. We are coming almost to a close on this special evening. We have our final storyteller, Doug. He is a participant in the Literacy Alliance's Volunteers for Literacy program, where volunteers are matched to provide one-on-one tutoring with other adults. He'll be joined this evening with Margaret, a volunteer matched with Doug, and both Doug and Margaret now consider themselves great friends beyond the relationship established through the program. And the Amanda Jackson Band will be our last performers to share a song inspired by Doug's story. Amanda Jackson Band, fresh off their recent performance at the Fredericton Harvest Jazz and Blues Festival, they have been growing a strong fan base since 2014. They've released 1 live album and 1 studio album, which won Music PEI's Urban Album of the Year last year. Many of their songs feature elements of social justice. Tonight they will perform as the Amanda Jackson Trio, featuring Dale McKee, Todd McLean, and of course, Amanda Jackson. Thank you.
Hello? Yeah. Now I can't see us because the light's right in my eyes. First off, I'd like to thank all of the ladies and gentlemen here that are support the United Way, because without the United Way, Margaret and myself wouldn't be able to sit here, because without the funding, I wouldn't be able to tell you my story. So I'm going to try to tell you my story if I can. I'm going to start off at day 1. I say to people that I've worked from the day I could walk, and literally it is true, because I remember as a kid walking underneath the handle of the lawnmower, cutting grass, right? I worked at loading potato boats when I was like 12 years old, throwing 50-pound bags of feed, or 50-pound bags of potatoes in a boat. I worked at Kenlock Chicken Farm when I was like 12, feeding a couple 100,000 chickens in the weekends, right? And plus, when it's a little different, I guess every generation's a little different, but when I was growing up, you helped, you worked, you didn't, there was no video games, right? You helped your uncles, you helped them at the farm, you're always working. So anyway, speed things up here a little bit. When I started in school, I had what they call dyslexia. But when I started school, I didn't pass grade 1, I didn't pass grade 2, I didn't pass grade 3, right? So I literally went through till I was 14 years old, just winging it, right? Like, I know that when the teachers would say to me, copy what's on the board, well, when I looked at the board and I seen C, A, T, T. I didn't think of it as cat. I just sing C, C, A, T, right? So, and then when you were doing your work, like the words, the big words, little words, you'd find little spots where they'd fit in where you're supposed to fill it, right? And then, as far as math, I probably counted more oranges and apples than anybody around, right? Because if I had to find out how many fives was in 100, I had to draw 100 oranges, circle 5 each time, and then count them all up. Oh, a lot of work. So, when I was 14 years old, I was in grade 8, but I was at the back of the class doing grade 2.5, grade 3 work, right? Just your basic stuff. So there was a family friend that was from Ontario, and he had a roofing business. So I was on an airplane smoking cigarettes and drinking beer on the way to Ontario when I was 14 years old, right? That's a good start. So anyway, well, when I was in Ontario, I learned how to roof. While I was roofing, I didn't learn, but when I was growing up, when you were told to listen and watch, I knew how to listen and I knew how to watch, right? So I'd watch all these other people doing their different trades, and I thought, I can do that, right? So I picked up a lot of trades, and I ended up calling myself a carpenter. So when I say I picked up these trades, I know that sometimes people say a jack of all and a master of none, but I was a jack of all, but I done them all well, right? I wasn't as quick as somebody that done it full all the time, but any job that I done, people were said that I'd done good work, and it took me a long time to accept that when they were saying to me that it was good, it's not that good, right? I wouldn't accept. So I learned how to accept a compliment, right? Where am I? I know I'm awful dry, right? You'll have to excuse me for a second. They said I wasn't allowed to drink until after this, right? But as everybody knows on PEI, there's, what do they call that? White lightning. Oh, I guess it's kind of like them there apples and oranges again. When I was trying to get ahead in life, I learned, like sometimes people would say, after they knew that I couldn't read and write, they say, well, you don't talk like you can't read and write. And I always wondered what a person talks like that can't read and write. Right? But and another thing that is true, right? Maybe not to everybody, but I've often heard it growing up that a picture's worth 1,000 words. For me, it literally was, because people ask me, well, if you don't know how to read, how can you install a doorknob? Well, I look at the picture, right? The picture says do this, do that. I don't have to read the words. The picture says it. So if you're ever putting a barbecue together, don't look at the directions. Just put it together, right? So when I was getting in business myself and working for myself, being that I couldn't read, I actually in Toronto, they have a yellow pages that's like that thick. So I use the yellow pages as a dictionary. If I wanted to write something down, I'd flip the pages until I found what I was looking for. So if I was looking for tile or if I was looking for radiators or car parts or whatever, right, I'd just flip over, and I'd use Yellow Pages as a dictionary. And I used to tape phone calls. Like, this is when I was just getting into business, right? But later on, I guess I should speed this up a little bit, but later on, I did go into business with, over the years, I was involved with several different businesses. But because of my education, I was taken advantage of. I was paperwork, people have paperwork and they say sign here, sign there, sign here, sign there, right? So I just signed, right? But anyway, I signed my rights away to a few things that I probably, if I could have read the papers, I wouldn't have signed. But the particular business that I'm talking about right now is worth millions. But it was my philosophy and my worth ethic, I guess, that made the company. But I wasn't part of it. So anyway, speed it up a little bit more. I know that there's a few people talked about their demons, right? I'm not going to get into a lot of demons, but I had my own demons. I made a lot of mistakes, right? But you learn from your mistakes and you move on. So I done carpentry right up until about 3 years ago, and 4 years ago, and then I got what they call spinal stenosis. So it's kind of like a bone in your neck that's like an oyster shell growing. And if I wouldn't have had an operation in there, it would have severed my spinal cord at my neck. So if your spinal cord is severed at your neck, nothing else works, right? So I ended up that between that problem there and just wore out. They say I have a degenerative back disease. It just means I'm wore out. That's from all that work. So anyway, after I was get out of the hospital, I said, okay, I can't use my body no more. And then I thought, I can use my brain, right? So I said, I'll try to learn how to read and write. So I heard about a Liturgy Alliance, and I phoned and talked to a very nice person. I forget her name, right? Amanda. Oh, thank you. So they said they had a perfect match for me, which was Margaret. And we've been together now for about 3 years, right? So sometimes she's a little hard on me. And see, I tell people that she's abusive, and she says, I'm not abusive. But anyway, let's speed her up a little bit. So I went to a call we get set up, and I started with basically my ABCs, right? I did know my ABCs, but anyway. So throughout that experience with the Liturgy Alliance, I heard about another program. It was called the West Program, and I went to see a lovely lady by the name of Sue. I forgot your name. Susan DeBlise. So anyway, she tested me, and lo and behold, I was at the right kind of level to get in to start my work towards my GEDs. So I went last year to the West Program, and I still have Margaret with me. And Margaret said she'll be with me until I don't need her no more, so I hope she's got enough. Yes, you did. So my goal now is to try for my GED. It's an attainable goal. I would rather than anybody taking advantage of me or me taking advantage of anybody else, I'd like to be able to do my own, well, get my GED, maybe take a small business course, right? Be able to do my own market studies, business plan, proposals, whatever it is in business. So, what? Oh. I never really said all I'd want to say, but if you have any time, if you got 25 years, I can tell you a lot more. But I thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your support. Again, without the United Way, I wouldn't be able to sit here to tell you my story. And I know there's been several stories told tonight, and each one of us have the power to move up. I've seen people always want to hold people down. I think it should be the other way around. We should pick everybody up. Thank you very much.
Check one. That was beautiful. Thank you. So we wrote this song for Doug. Dale, Todd, and I got to hang out with him for, we must have talked for about 2 hours almost, eh? Yeah. He's coming with me. But we learned a lot in those 2 hours, I'll tell you that much, about struggles and triumphs and dark places and beautiful places. So you mentioned a picture's worth 1,000 words, and that's something that means literally that to you. So we wrote this song and we call it Pictures.
It's still real, it's yours to steal.